Hey everybody, Ryan here at etrailer.com. Today we're going to be showing you how to install the etrailer adapters that will allow you to pair up your Roadmaster Tow Bar to your etrailer classic base plate. But before we show you how to put these on, why don't we go ahead and just kind of talk about them and make sure that they're going to work for you. So first and foremost, just kind of want to apologize about our funny setup here. Usually we're all hooked up to a motorhome and really paint a good picture, but really bad weather out today, so just trying to make do, so please bear with me. But with that said, we get a lot of questions about fitment and what components can work with others and so on. And what these adapters are going to allow you to do is convert the ends on your Roadmaster Tow Bar. It's going to work with a lot of them, Roadmaster Tow Bars, we'll get to that in a minute. But it's going to allow you to convert those ends, that way you can hook up to your etrailer.com base plate kit. And you know, the reason being, obviously the factory Roadmaster ends, obviously that's not going to work, right? You're not going to be able to pair the two up. I do want to mention as well, these are also going to pair up with Demco base plate kits that are very similar to this. So if you have a Demco kit like this one, it'll work with those as well. But what's pretty convenient about these, and from what I've noticed, is sometimes people end up getting a new vehicle and they really like this type of base plate, and they end up going with that, and they still have their old existing tow bar. And it's kind of a bummer if you have to get a whole new tow bar, you know, they're not cheap, to pair the two up together. And that's where the adapter comes in. So instead of doing a whole new tow bar, you change out the ends and you're able to complete your flat tow setup. So once you have the adapter actually installed on your tow bar, it's going to be the same as hooking up just about any other setup. You're just going to line it up with your base plate, put your pin through and your clip through, and that's how you make the connection. And the adapters are going to come with all the necessary hardware, you know, your nut and bolt, some washers, and this pin and clip. So you're going to have everything you need to complete the conversion for the tow bar ends. So a moment ago I talked about, you know, what Roadmaster Tow Bars these adapter ends are going to work with. Today we have them on our Falcon All-Terrain, but it's also going to work with the Tracker, the Falcon 2, the Blackhawk, as well as the Blackhawk All-Terrain, and last but not least, the Roadmaster Sterling Tow Bars. Now keep in mind, for those Sterling Tow Bars, it's going to apparently work for those tow bars that have serial numbers up to 14,500. If your serial number is higher than that for your Sterling, not a big deal. There's a different type of adapter available that'll essentially do the same thing as this. So definitely have some options, and it's going to work with, you know, all those common Roadmaster Tow Bars. So at the end of the day, it's a really nice set of adapters. You know, they're well built and come with everything you need. It's really cool that they make these. You know, it could potentially save you a couple bucks and prevent you from having to buy whole new, you know, tow bars or a base plate just because the ends don't match up. So it could really save you some headache there. Now, as far as getting them swapped out, really straightforward. Shouldn't really run into any issues. If you'd like to see how that's done, feel free to stick around. We'll go ahead and change one out together now. To get the adapter ends installed on your tow bar is relatively simple. Just a couple of bolts. Now keep in mind, since the adapters work with a variety of different tow bars, it might be set up a little bit different, but this will at least get you going in the right direction. Today we have the Roadmaster Falcon All-Terrain. I already got one end switched over here, so let's go ahead and do the other side together. So we need to remove the factory end, which is this piece. We're going to have an Allen head bolt on one end. I'm using a 1/4 inch, and then a nut on the other side. I just grabbed an adjustable. I think it's a 5/8, so, but we'll go ahead and remove this bolt and get the end off. Once you have this out of the way, we can grab our new parts and get it installed. So we'll grab our adapter in, the included hardware, which consists of this bolt, a nut, and two, I believe these are nylon washers. But what you're going to do is take the bolt, pass it through the adapter end just a little bit, take one of the washers, put it on, pass it through the tow bar, and once it just barely passes through the tow bar end, you can take the other washer, kind of sneak that up in there, push everything completely through, and then you want to take some blue Loctite and apply some to the threads of the bolt. Take our nut, and we'll get this tightened down. And when you tighten this down, you kind of want to find a good spot, because if you get it too tight, this thing's hardly going to be able to pivot, but you don't want it super loose either. So what I like to do is kind of just snug it and see where I'm at. If you have to tighten it a little bit more, loosen it a little bit, you just want it to be able to relatively easily move this around, kind of like just how it was right out of the factory. So keep that in mind. I'm going to grab a 19mm socket and wrench. You can also use a 3/4 and get that done. So that's binding up a little bit. I'm just going to back the nut off just a tad, and I think we'll be good to go. So a little bit of resistance, but not too much, so I think we're in pretty good shape. So once you have one end done, you'd simply do the same thing to the other side, and that's really all there is to it. And that'll finish up our look at and the installation of the etrailer.com tow bar adapters for Roadmaster Tow Bars to eTrailer Classic base plates.